We are going live. Great, we are live. Let's start. Hello everyone, this is Sam from Neo Smart Economy. Today we are glad to invite Paul from Neo SPCC to introduce the NeoFS integration into Dapps. Hello Paul, could you introduce yourself first and you can start your presentation.
Golang implementation of Neo blockchain node. And the second, our main project is NeoFS. Let me share some screen. I hope it is available for you now. What NeoFS is? Some basic concepts. NeoFS is a decentralized object storage that is tightly integrated into Neo and 3 platform. In fact, actually, it is an integral part of it. The key characteristic of our storage platform are that we store object, not the files. We store some fixed pieces of data, and they are mutable. So once it is, once they are uploaded, they cannot be changed. We do not store objects in a blockchain. A chain is used only to synchronize our storage nodes that communicate with each other with P2P, our P2P protocol that's based on gRPC, and I will show you the proto implementation and proto files and messages that are being transferred via in our network a little bit later. And one of the feature that's very useful for practical application development is that we support the concept of storage policy. It means that the user can control where and how the data is stored, not just somewhere the system decided, but strictly according to the rules specified by a user. And I think the last key, the last feature I want to specify here is that we support ACL list that work in distributed environment and that are flexible and can depend on objects and their attributes. And in fact, it is two level. One is basic ACL and the second is extended. So I think that is all for the boring part. Let's start some practice, and the theme of this speech is how the decentralized application can use NeoFS, and I will try to show you how can be NeoFS used and which way are available for the developers. So, but to start with, I need to tell you some basic concepts that are required to understand the actions that I will do. So first of all, everything in NeoFS is stored inside the container. Any object should belong to a container. A container can be treated as a catalog or as a directory. Once it is created, it is immutable, the same way the objects are. It also may have some attributes, and it includes basic ACLs. So the basic access control should be defined at container creation stage. So what do you need to create your own container? First of all, you need to have a positive NeoFS balance. That means that, let me show you our status page. This is a page where you can find some necessary information to start your NeoFS entertainment, to start your work. And everything that I will show you will be related to testnet. And create a container means that you, as I said before, you need a positive balance. To have a positive balance in NeoFS, you need to transfer some gas to our NeoFS contract. There you can find your address. There you can find its address. I have already transferred some gas to that contract, so we can test. Well, do you see this line? I hope no. Okay, so let's. I also have a predefined wallet that I have created, and let me show that my balance is positive. So that is all you need to be able to create some to store some objects. And let's start with creating a container. So what do we have here? First of all, this is RPC. This is endpoint of our storage node. This node is taken from here. We have deployed 4 nodes. Any can be used. And basically almost all communication you do and almost all operations you do with NeoFS should be done with these storage nodes. So what else we have here? Some basic ACL. As I said before, this is access control list, and this defines who can access your data, your objects. That means that the E stands for extended, which means that once you create the basic ACL, it will be possible to extend with some custom rules, some flexible rules in the future. This access list will not be changed, but the extended is available for changing, and I hope we will end with some demonstration of how it works in the end of this workshop. So public read, of course, means that anyone and any user who knows the container and who knows the container ID, a container ID and an object ID is allowed to read it. But write access is only available to a container user, container owner for now. So policy, this is what I was talking about a few moments ago. This is SQL-like quite complex language that can define which nodes will be included in the container and which nodes are allowed to store objects. This is not the main theme of this workshop, so I will not deep in details about it. but it can be complex enough to be able to control the object flow totally based on the network and based on your based on the goals you want to achieve. Also, let's add some attributes. They will be used a little bit later about when we will try to receive the object we create. So it's just a regular string k value. This is the k, and this is the value. So let's just create it. Sorry. Wallet is here, and well, I think that's it. Await flag means that this operation is asynchronous and it needs some time to be accepted in the network. So let the system decide where it finished. That is container ID. It is already available, but let's just wait the acceptance of this container. Yes, now we see that it has been persisted on sidechain. So let's create some object. Let it be random. We create it. Let it be this size, and let's call the file some original. We will use it to compare the responses we will receive later. So let it be this size, and let's place to the files directory, which will be which will store every object we receive in the future. So now we have an object, and let's try a different ways to achieve it, a different ways to integrate with NeoFS. And since we already know what NeoFS CLI is, let's, by the way, sorry about that. NeoFS CLI is available. It is part of NeoFS, and it is available with the release in the release section. And this is where, this is where you can take it. It implements NeoFS protocol, and let's just take the object we put to the NeoFS. Let's call it CLI object. We need to specify container ID, and we need to specify object ID. What? Yes, object ID, sorry. Oh, my bad. We haven't put it yet. So let's put this object to our container. Yep. So now we have the address of the object we just created and put it to the NeoFS. Every object has address, and address is the thing that contains two parts always. One of it is container ID, and the other is object ID. So this is required and enough information to get the object from the NeoFS. So let's try to get it. Like this is used by some scripts or some scenarios where the bash is acceptable. Sorry, get. And let's store it in the object file. Specify the container ID we just used to put the object. And let's check what do we have. Sorry, not sit. Oh, it. And sit, of course. Apologize. So the first way to get the object from NeoFS is, of course, to use the NeoFS CLI utility. We store our object in the files directory. Yeah, this is the original one, and this is we just received with NeoFS CLI. So NeoFS CLI is a utility that is written in Go, which means that we need to have some Go libraries. Oops. And we call it SDK, NeoFS SDK. This is the second way you can get your object from NeoFS. This is not released yet, but it is currently is being developing right now, and the first major release is close. Don't be afraid of the number of release candidates we have. This means that we are trying to do it as comfortable for a developer as it could be. So we are you're welcome to, if you're a Go developer, you're welcome to give us your feedback, ask any questions, create any issues, and any support is highly appreciated. And let me just show how it can be used. I got some example that uses NeoFS SDK. That is only less than 100 lines long, and in fact the big part of it is just parses the information. So let me show how it works, but first of all, let me get the object ID and copy the object ID and the container ID to be able to get it. It is hard-coded because it is just a demo. Yep. So basically what it does, First of all, this is just a parsing, and this is just technical information about the object, parsing container, parsing object ID, and be reading wallet with empty password. Sorry about that. So this is where the interesting things start. You just need to create a client and specify the storage node network endpoint. And basically that's it. All you need is just specifying the container and object and the wallet that will be used to send a request. So let us be like that, and let's create just received object to the file that is named files SDK object near the two previous objects, and let's check how it works. It works based on the standard library primitives. It has read 138 bytes as it was supposed to be. This is the name of it and timestamp of its creation. Let's check what it is in the UTC. Yep, this is our object created about 7 minutes ago. And let's check the directory with our files. Yeah, here it is, the same object with the same payload. So any Go developer can integrate. This SDK is a high-level library, and it supports every operation that is available in the NeoFS. By the way, this protocol is placed in the library in the repository named NeoFS RP. This repository contains proto definition of the RPC that we have. Every operation is described here. And of course, every operation is supported in the SDK library. So we also use we also use this SDK in our implementation of the NeoFS in Go language. Also, this SDK is used in the NeoFS CLI. So any operation that can be done in NeoFS can be done with SDK. So this is the second way to integrate your application with NeoFS. So NeoFS API is binary. It is good. It is fast protocol, but isn't the best, and it isn't the perfect because it's not widely acceptable by developers. It is not supported in the browsers, or it is badly supported in browsers, or developers do not want to use gRPC from the JavaScript. So that is where our second third way to integrate your application with NeoFS. This is our HTTP gateway application, and that is what it is said in its title. It can accept any HTTP request, convert them to not any, but the specified, the defined amount number of RPC supported, and it accepts HTTP requests, converts it to the gRPC request, the native protocol of the NeoFS, and forward sends the just converted request to the storage nodes. that means that this is the way to take part in NeoFS system with the web browsers. Moreover, we have deployed a public HTTP gateway. This is what its address is. It is connected to the testnet. So any object that have been put to the NeoFS network can be accessed with this gateway. So let's try to get the object we just created in the NeoFS with this gateway protocol, or gateway HTTP gateway. So let's take, let's use curl, by the way. Yes, this is how it works. Container ID and wait, and oops. And let's put it to the file named HTTP object. So here we go. Sorry. So yep, another way to get objects and integrate NeoFS in your application is using HTTP protocol and using our gateways, even publicly deployed in public. So it also allows to get some pictures. It can be used like that. Oh, oops, demo doesn't allow me to see what I'm doing. Yeah, nice. So what do we have? We can use HTTP into the NeoFS. We can accept and receive some objects. So what does stop us from deploying some sites on the NeoFS? Technically nothing, and practically nothing too. So, and we do it. Let's see our main page. And here what we have. Hosted on NeoFS. And this is how it can be used, how NeoFS can be used in the real application too. Every object on this site is hosted on NeoFS and is fetched with the HTTP gateway. For example, if we try to find a page named, for example, test, it says that object not found because there is no object for this path. The same way we respond to our system if we specify some object that is not found. For example, the same error we get here. So hosting hosting sites on the NeoFS is the good feature, but how can it be used, and how can we demonstrate the full idea about it? Is this is we have our own demonstration of HTTP gateway work that is send NeoFS application. This is a demo that uses the same NeoFS HTTP gateway. So what does it do? You can accept you can accept object, and it will be put in the NeoFS system. Since it is a demonstration, it should be expired. This is a native feature of the NeoFS. So let's try to put the object we just created here too, and try to get here we have it. So this is the real example of the NeoFS decentralized application. It can store objects, and it can generate link to it. It has its own container that is related to this application only. And let's try to access this object without let's call it without the access, without the provided and ensured access to it. So let's just try to do this directly. Object ID and a container ID from the specified object. Just upload it, and let's try to get it directly. So here it is. The object we get from that we put via our demonstration of the HTTP gateway protocol, and our demo decentralized application has put the object to the NeoFS, and here it is. Yep. So also talking about gateways that are available to our NeoFS system, it should be also noted that we have S3 gateway. Here it is. It is not publicly deployed in the and it is not connected to the NeoFS system, but it is also open source and it is available. You can see and you can find the information about what S3 S3 operation we support. So the scariest thing here is this red dot. This is the operation that we have in S3 protocol, but that are not supported in NeoFS because it's either impossible or not will be implemented because of its inaccessibility in our system. So as you can see, there is no so many red dots. But also it requires some extension in NeoFS node implementation because first of all, S3 protocol allows changing the objects, but NeoFS object, as I mentioned before, are immutable. So once you upload the object, it could not be changed. So some workarounds should be applied, and some optional services are implemented in the NeoFS network, in the NeoFS node implementation that are currently turned off in the public networks. And also S3 protocol is more about some private networks. So it is not deployed yet, but it is done and it works, and it is currently being under development. And once again, a lot of methods of the S3 protocol are going to be implemented sooner or later. So also, what do we have? Entry platform supports some service that is named Oracle. This is service that allows contract and service that allows to on-chain operations, blockchain operations on-chain, be able to get some information outside of the network. So it basically means that you can access some information via the oracles and try to believe that the responses will be identical and the oracle nodes will be in the consensus about the responses they wanted to give you. And NeoFS is integrated in this system, and it allows to get object with the Oracle service. And to show it, I have written some example contract. It is not an example how the contract should be written, but it can demonstrate how the NeoFS objects can be fetched in the contract on the N3 platform. So let's briefly check what this contract is about. It has three main methods that can be called outside. There are first of all, let's start with safe object. It accepts some container ID and object ID. Also, it check access that it is me who is going to change the context storage. Oracle service supports fetching some information from the outside via the HTTP protocol, or directly to the NeoFS network fetching objects. So to do this, we need to specify container ID and object ID. And all it does, this Oracle service calls the callback that will be called by the Oracle services if they reach the consensus about the responses NeoFS gave to them. And what it does here, this is just technical checks, and it puts the object it receives from the NeoFS and puts it to the container contract storage. So later we can wait for these transactions to be accepted into the chain, and later it can be received with the public method of the contract get object. So let's try it out. Let's try how the Oracle service could be used to integrate with NeoFS. To call contracts, I will use NeoGo CLI utility. It supports calling contracts for, let's first of all check. By the way, I have already deployed this contract, and this is what hash it has, just to save the time. So let's invoke this contract and try to get objects. Since we're using Go language, don't be confused by the difference in the naming, because public functions in the Go should start with a capital letter. So that is how NeoGo contracts compilation works. So let's try to call it and find that currently contract has none of the object. No object is stored in the contract. So let's try to save it. Let's try to call our save object method. It isn't test invoke function, it is invoke function, because we want to change the state of the chain. Also, let's figure out what address do we have in our wallet. So this is the same. Yep, I haven't reignited the wallet. So what do we have here? To specify some arguments. So it is down here. We need to specify two arguments: container ID and object ID. So let's specify the object we just put into the NeoFS in the beginning. Let's explicitly specify that this is the string type. And first of all, this is container ID, and the second is object ID. So once again, what this call should do, it accepts the object, and it takes the address, the URL, according to the Oracle service specification. To get the object from the NeoFS, it should be in that form: NeoFS prefix, and then the address. So if the object is found on the network, the Oracle service will call some callbacks, which are basically this. And it will be able to pass the result it has. So we expect that it will be our object, our string, because the payload of our object is a string. And it will try to put the result to its storage by this key. So if everything goes okay, we will try to receive the object with this key and figure out if it worked. So method not found because it is not specified. Sorry, apologize. Get object. Well, oh, sorry. Why get object? Save object. Apologize one more time. So yes, we're going to wait. So at least we need to wait one block, because this is the function that will be accepted in the block, and after that it will call some callback, so one block more. And let's figure out if it worked. Yeah. So just before we try to inspect our storage of the contract via the getObject method, and we receive nothing. And currently we have bytes. This is the base 64 encoding of the bytes, and this is the object that's just been fetched from the NeoFS network with the Oracle service, which means that any contract is able to receive object it have NeoFS system has. So this is the another way to integrate NeoFS in your decentralized application if it has some contracts, if it has some decentralized logic based on the Neo contracts. So that should be work for you too. Let's just decode the value we have and yes, and put it into the let's call it Oracle object. Let's check. Yes. So what else can be done? Some bonus time. Since we do development, and since we're a regular development team, we use and open source, we use CI integration that works, that runs integration test for every merge, for every pull request, and we use Allure framework or Allure utility that allows to visualize test results that can be used to store and to analyze the results of the work. So it looks natural to store these test reports in the NeoFS system because we are developing the system that stores object, and Allure reports is also an object that can be stored and that can be replicated and can be ensured that it won't be lost. And also using the native feature of the NeoFS, it can be automatically expire because every object has an optional expiration feature in the NeoFS. So let me show how it is worked, and let me show how it was adopted by us. Also, let's find some action. Sorry for the delay. I wasn't expected sample request to merge right now. So I guess that's it. And let's go to the our automated CI and see how it is looked. So we, after every run, we have an action, GitHub action that that fetch the result and deployed it to the main network. As you can see, this is looks like the HTTP gateway address, but without T5. So this is mainnet mainnet version of NeoFS deployed mainnet network, and this is how our NeoFS system can be used by us. Mm, it stores every report. It stores every. Let's find some failed test. It stores logs, and after every failed test, it's even collects the full logs that are kind of a big text file that can be analyzed after the receiving the results, and it is also downloaded to the NeoFS network and can be fetched to analyze the results. So this is a little bit at a raw stage. We are planning sooner or later to release some open GitHub action that will accept that can be added to any GitHub repository. The same way it is done for some already let it be Go unit tests. So a little bit YML programming like that will allow, and passing some of course secrets and some maybe container ID, and any project on the GitHub will be able to reuse our GitHub workflow and post its results to the NeoFS system, specify expiration, specify container, specify the at the container create stage, specify the access control list, and be able to push its results and be able to store CI reports on our NeoFS system. So that is how it can be applied in real situation, and it is real. It is already applied by us, and it works, and it helps, and it allows to speed up the work with open source repositories. So it is can be convenient, and it will be public for sure soon. So what else can I say to you? Oh, yes. I've told you about the HTTP gateway, and as it can be seen on as it can be seen on its repository README. Its functionality isn't big, and it can support, in fact, let's check, only small numbers of operations like get object, like search by attribute, like put some object via post request, and achieve some achieving archiving objects via some common prefix. That is done if you have specified file, if you specify file path to your object with some slashes that allows to treat some object as a object of some that belong to some directory. So, and basically that's all. But we also have currently not deployed anywhere the full RESTful gateway that can be that has much more functionality, and we call it REST gateway. So this is another way to fetch objects from the NeoFS. So let me demonstrate it. As I said already, it hasn't been deployed anywhere. So I can show you how it can be deployed locally and how easy it is. So I have cloned this in the workshop directory. Let me show what version it is, and let's sorry. Let's compile it, and let's see some configuration. This is the full configuration that it has. It can be, of course, it has it has to have some wallet to be able to send requests to NeoFS system, and also it has some balancing feature, some health checks, timeouts, and the balancing basically works like that. So we have priority here and the weight of the endpoint. So basically this means that this address will be the most with the highest priority if it's healthy. The other will be divided between, if it is down, the other request will be divided between these two endpoints with the proportional about 10% and 19%. And some other useful settings, but that are good. But let's show me how it works with this one and how easy it can be it can run and how easy it can be used by you. So the only thing I need here to specify wallet. This is not the wallet I received from that I used to put the object. There's some another one. The same with the empty password. Sorry about that. And endpoints that we have. These endpoints are the 4 endpoints from our NeoFS network. So everything you have to be able to run REST gateway is to be able to access any storage node. Doesn't matter if it is your node or if it is our node. It's just a gateway that accepts REST requests and translate them to the some NeoFS storage nodes. So that should be enough to run this REST gateway. Let's try it out and see if it works. So it is started. I used this part. So let's check. Yes, here it is now, and it is up. Let's see what Swagger scheme it has, what Swagger documentation. As you can see, compared to the HTTP gateway, its functionality much bigger. And the same way it can be used. It stores. It has specification, and it can be used to, of course, to generate your client to our REST gateway. So let's see if it works, and let's try to get our object once again. The same object we fetch from the Oracle HTTP gateways, and with any other ways we do this before. So we need to curl, let it be named REST object. So, and where should it go? It should go to the localhost where the REST gateway is up with this port. It has v1 object. Yes, it has this scheme, and let's specify the same object ID. Let's see if it is able to fetch this from our NeoFS network. So looks like that. I think yes. Not HTTPS. And let's check it out. Yeah, okay, I got it. Because it is not object, but objects. And by the way, this is JSON, of course. So this is the full response from the Rust gateway. It has container ID, owner ID, and the payload. Payload is, of course, not binary. So we need to convert it the same way it is done. It was done for the Oracle. So let's convert it. Yep. Oops, sorry. This is like that. Yes, so let's remove the rest and move copy to the original. Yeah, I think I messed up the CLI object. I don't know why, so let's just get it one more time. Not sure why it happens. The same. Yep. Yes. So, what have we done here? We put the object to the NeoFS. We this is the original object. We checked the NeoFS CLI utility and get this object with the bash, with the terminal. the same way it can be done in any script, the same way it is done in our GitHub Actions. We checked our SDK library, which is a Go language library that covers all the functionality that NeoFS supports, and run a small script in Go, less than 100 lines, and receive the same object. So after that, we go to our gateways. One of them is HTTP. It is no, it does not have much functionality, but it is enough to fetch, to search, to push some data to the NeoFS, and it also worked. And the most important feature about that, it can be used for deploying some sites on the network, and this way it is done for our three main sites, like NSPCC.io, SendFS that was used to, and I don't remember, some other site is also hosted on the NeoFS fully. The next way, we went and see some Oracle contract. Example of contract that uses Oracle services. It is able to connect the on-chain actions, on-chain transactions and events with the out-of-chain network, NeoFS systems. And it allows to provide, it allows to fetch objects that can be used like small UTF-8 strings databases. It also supports JSON path filters. So any JSON file can be attached to and pushed to the NeoFS and be accessed by the with Oracle service with any contract that is deployed on NeoS3. Also, we saw the way we implement the next gateway, REST gateway. It has much more functionality. It supports, it has specification. It can be used to generate clients to it. It can be used to control access list. It can be used as utility that allows to create and to use some utility object in NeoFS, like tokens that control access, and it just more functional than HTTP. And also we saw how easy it can be uploaded, how easy it can be upped, and you can try it, you can use it. You shouldn't trust to us. You shouldn't trust we maintain our gateways good. You shouldn't be. You should. If you think you can, if you want, you can try to deploy it, and you can try to support decentralization and not to be NeoFS gateway to be the only thing that can be that can go via HTTP request to our NeoFS nodes. So this is how decentralization is expected to work. So I think that's all for now, since I have been talking for more than 1 hour. I think I can answer some question if there are any, and can also
I
ask if so.
Yeah, I just saw a question, but it's kind of question because the the questioner have answered the question, but I also want you to answer it. The question is, are Oracle nodes required to maintain a NeoFS endpoint to handle the path resolution from a contract? Maybe I can also copy the questions and send to with the Discord. Hello?
Whoa.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, can you hear
Oh,
me?
sorry, I was muted. Whoa, sorry. Yeah, sorry. As far as I know, Oracle is a separate config section in the Neo node, so it can be treated as a plugin. So it can be configured to go to the some NeoFS nodes, and also, of course, it is turned off on the Neo nodes, Neo Go nodes. So this is why it worked in my example. So it is it must be configured.
Okay. Okay, thanks. I think that's the only question we have now, and I think it's pretty much all for today's workshop. Thanks, Pavel. And if anyone have any questions, you can also ask them in our Discord server. Pavel will be there to answer the questions. Thanks, Pavel. See you next time.
Yeah, thank you. Just little links to the topic I was talking about here.
Yeah. Okay.
To be a little bit more familiar with NeoFS and how it can be used and how decentralized apps can be integrated with that. So thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Have a good day. Bye bye.